Starting in chapter 40 of Ezekiel and going on for several chapters is a description of a holy city and a temple and plans for how this holy city and temple should be built and some laws that should happen in this holy city and temple. And as I was reading it, I read it as a prophecy of the last days, and I feel like it's the kind of prophecy that the humans, the people will help fulfill. That there will be people alive today who help build up this holy city, whether it's through laying the intellectual foundations or actually buying land or purchasing it, but they'll be part of building this holy city that was seen and envisioned by Ezekiel. But then there are some things that I feel like God himself will do. And one of those things, one of the signs of the last days is that this city will be built and this temple will be built, and that water will come from the temple and heal the Red Sea, and there'll be a great river with lots of fish, and it'll be a wonderful thing. And you find this prophecy in Ezekiel chapter 47, starting in verse 1. Afterward he brought me again unto the door of the house, and that's the house of God, the temple, and behold, waters issued out from under the threshold of the house eastward. For the forefront of the house stood toward the east, and the waters came down from the right side of the house at the south side of the altar. So there's going to be some sort of spring under the temple. Then he brought me out of the way of the gate northward, and led me about by the way without unto the utter gate by the way that looketh eastward. And behold, there ran out waters to the right side. And the waters will progressively get deeper and deeper, and they create a river. In verse 5 it says, and he measured 1,000, and it was a river that I could not pass over, for the waters were risen, waters to swim in, a river that could not be passed over. And there's lots of trees, and there's lots of fish. In verse 8 it says, then said he unto me, these waters issue out toward the east country, and go down into the desert, and go into the sea, which being brought forth into the sea, the waters shall be healed. So the waters of the Dead Sea, this is in Jerusalem, the waters of the Dead Sea will be healed. And it shall come to pass that everything that liveth, which moveth, whithersoever the river shall come, shall live. And there shall be a very great multitude of fish, because these waters shall come thither, for they shall be healed, and everything shall live whither the river cometh. So I think that's a beautiful prophecy, which I personally believe will be fulfilled literally, but it's also symbolic that the living waters, that Jesus Christ is the living waters, and he comes forth from the house of God, and he heals the land and he heals the people, that through Jesus Christ we are healed. So I think that this prophecy will be fulfilled literally at some future day, but it's also being fulfilled spiritually as Jesus Christ heals our land and heals us and helps us to live.